Hello everybody, Enderite7 here. Today I have a little tutorial planned. So, I've already done a tutorial on Splitter, and now I think it would be a good time to do a tutorial on another very common type of glitch engine, which is the UFO engine. First thing you're going to want to do is have your sheet down, obviously, and then a 2x4 block like this. Now you're going to want to take two hover pads, and then orient them like this, with the part that hovers facing out. You can do this in a vertical style, but I'm going to demonstrate this in horizontal style. No, sorry, other way around. This is technically vertical style, this one is horizontal style, but they're both really the same. They're just oriented differently. I don't think there's a difference. And so, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hinges, if I can find them. There we go. And then make sure that the green arrow is pointing into your hover pad. I'm just going to set that to whatever button I want my propulsion to be. I want it to be spacebar, and keep it at 30. Now what you're going to want to do is set your speed to as high as you want, and then steering help to 0, and then you do not need hold position or anything else, that's it. And copy your hinge down, copy them over, and then make sure that the green arrow is pointing towards the hover pad, and so I'm going to flip these two over, like this. And now that'll make the hinges go into the hover pad, just like that, on both sides. The next step is going to be taking this block right here, the 2x2 wedge, and sticking it right on those hover pads, like so. There's a lot of different ways you can do the propulsion for the UFO, but this is just a very basic way. This is the first way I learned. I'll demonstrate some other ways to do it, but this is the first one. As you can see, this will now gain me speed. It's a decent amount of speed, to be honest. This is obviously unflyable as of right now, because I have no steering. But I did make a little demo plane, if I can find it. Here it is. I was messing around with it a little bit earlier, so I'm just gonna quick fix that. Here we go. Here it is. It's the same exact engine. There's no difference. You can see the hinges are completely the same. And then when I spawn it in, you take off, and just one UFO engine is round about 237, maybe 240 even miles an hour. It's okay acceleration. It's not the best. And then also if we go underwater, it does work. Not as well, of course. And of course I will eject if I stay underwater for too long, but it still does work. And so that's the first method. You can also, let me just land a second. Perfect landing. You can also stack these. And so let's say I want 2. All I need to do is just copy it over, and boom, now I have 2. Let me just reconnect the tail a second, like so. As you can see now, I have 2. Still pretty fast. Now, of course, I am missing a lot of, I have really bad aerodynamics, so I'm not going to fly the best. And for some reason, I am drifting off to the right, but I think that's just because some of the hover pads are not activating quite how I want them to. Let me just real quick fix that. Seems to all be in order. I might just try coming out of build mode again. Aha. There we go. See, that fixed it. Now, I have really awful aerodynamics, so I'm not going to get any more speed. In fact, I've lost some speed. But, speaking of aerodynamics, this glitch works very, very nicely with the zero drag glitch, which I also have a tutorial for. I'll link that in the, there should be a little card that'll show up. I've just figured out how to do those. Very fun. You can watch that when you're done with this one, or go straight to it right now if you think you're done. And then, there's also, as I said earlier, there's some different ways to do propulsion. Like, another popular one I've seen, which I think might be faster. Don't quote me on that. But I think is faster is this one, where your hinges are the exact same except they're on the other side and they're on 5 degrees, and instead of a 2x2 wedge you're using this 1x2 wedge, like so, and then flipped like this. This is not the method I first learned. I saw this just on a random build on Workshop the other day, so this is not the method that I use the most. I don't really use UFO that much, but we'll see. I get decent speed. In fact, I'm getting more speed than I did. Even straight up I'm getting, 320 something. Let me just teleport to the runway a second. I actually want to see, how much speed do I get from this? 270, oh man, okay. Almost to 300 before I took off. Now if we compare that to the other one, let me just get it in my recent blueprint. Where is it? There we go. History. Let's try this one. Okay, yeah, so the first one is slightly faster. Oh my. And of course you can use, whatever method you want. You can stack them infinitely if you want to, although be careful, people may get mad at you. A lot of people do not like UFO spam. I actually have UFO engines on this splitter. You can see the main drive is the the splitter engine right here, but I also have 2 little UFO engines that use shields. I don't know, they don't really give me that much propulsion anyways, they're mostly experimental, but as you can see, they get me a little bit of speed in combination with the other thrusters. I will warn you, not EMPs, sorry, UFO engines do not work the best with heavy stuff. It seems like once you add even a little bit of weight, they lose quite a bit of their value. I'm just going to slap a couple weight blocks on. Now obviously this will slow me down because less aerodynamics, but also you can see this is getting me next to no speed. It makes sense, right? This is 200 kilograms worth of weights, but still, just something to think about on your builds. And I think, honestly, that's all there is to know about basic UFO engines. If I missed anything, obviously, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback. But until then, I think that will be the end of this short little video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and are out. Bye.